All right, lady. We are rolling live. I'm glad we're in tall chairs. It makes me happy. So, I don't even know what episode this is. Season 2, episode 11, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll fix that no matter what if it's wrong. But I can't remember. It's been so long since
11's a
I've
good
done
number.
one. Yeah, good. It's a good. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're here with a bite-worthy comedian and author. It's the first author that I've had on my show. We're at Vintage Tavern down in Vining, Smyrna.
We're in Smyrna.
We're in Smyrna.
Yep.
And bite-worthy is not. It's a characteristic that I'm trying to coin, but I don't think anybody else but me has used it so far.
We can make it a thing.
Trying.
Just need to hashtag it.
Hashtag bite-worthy. It's usually for food, but it's like a comedian that's worth wanting to steal from, or has a good joke that you wish you had. Mannerism, style, all those things. Biting material is like an industry term for like stealing. We don't do that, but bite-worthy comedian today, and author, Lindsey Richelle.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
What's up, lady?
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We just had pizza. It was good.
It was good.
Yeah, I don't think I've had pizza many times on this show.
Yeah.
So you picked a good restaurant. You picked a good place.
I do know good food in Atlanta.
Yeah, you do. You're well-traveled, literally well-traveled. So first and foremost, if you haven't heard of her, she is actually an author. She just wrote a book and launched it. It is done out there for the world to see. It is Boys, Booze, and Balderdash. I had the honor of performing and opening the launch party. It was great.
And you killed it.
I tried my best.
You
Thank
did.
you. And it was so much fun. And I cannot wait to read this book. I'm going to buy my own copy because April took mine. So yeah, she's like, I thought you bought 2. I was like, well,
I got one more at the house before I'm sold out. If you need me to.
No, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it because that way. I say support, but it's a wonderful book about dating and travels and all the directions and things that life has taken this lovely, gorgeous woman here today. So pick it up, read it, review it, just get it. It's good. I can't wait to do it. And I'd say that as like a guy who's gonna read like a girly book.
Yeah,
it's
that's
wild.
true.
So
that's true. It'll give you a good insight to girl brain, though.
I'll take it because I need all the help I can get.
Yeah.
I only
So
need
that's
help
where-
with one brain now, thank God. But it's quite a conundrum still.
There you go. That's where guys can look at it, though. It's like, this is what chicks think all the time.
Yeah, guys, pick it up. It's now you fodder. Now you have
You're
ammo.
welcome.
So I'm gonna get right into it.
Yeah.
You're a traveled person,
Yes.
and I'm gonna give you a fuck, marry, kill right off the bat.
Okay.
Delta, American Airlines, and Frontier.
Okay. Marry Delta, for sure.
for
We'll
sure.
be in a long-term relationship like we have been.
Of course.
You would fuck American Airlines because they look good on the outside. Like where you're like, oh, that's a good plane, you know? And then they're late, and then they're never on time, and then like a seat breaks, you know, they just disappoint you.
Yeah.
And then definitely kill Frontier. I would rather walk than fly Frontier.
It's like the upgraded Spirit.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, basically.
Yeah. Frontier is the lowest that I fly. I will refuse to fly Spirit Airlines.
Yeah, why don't you just text me next time? I'll see if I have
I
planes.
got you. Okay.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
I know someone who
I don't
does.
want you flying Frontier. It's gross.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I think my first flight ever was Continental.
Okay,
But-
I flew that in the day.
Yeah, but I mean that's how long it's been since I've traveled really.
Okay.
I've Southwest, the only airline to do me dirty.
Yeah.
They gave me a voucher which was not even the price of my ticket. I was like, this.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Southwest is normally pretty good.
They're fair. I mean, they're fair. I
Yeah.
heard about there's a guy who makes a living looking for overbooked flights, and they pay him
Yeah.
to not do it. And sometimes he'll make a couple grand.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy.
Anytime they've come over the speaker and offered like $500-600, like you can negotiate with them on price,
Yeah.
which I don't think people know.
Give me $1,000, I'll get off this
And
plane.
they'll give it to you.
What?
And I've never gotten it because the only times they've offered on the flights I'm on, I have to get to the next location to see a client. I'm not coming home. And I'm always like,
Otherwise I would.
Should I just say I missed my flight?
Right? Okay.
Be there in the morning.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All these dates you've been on, and the show is about food. All these dates you've been on, I read and you talked about, we just shared different places, different countries even, different states with different types of guys. What are the most memorable meals? Because a lot of people don't talk about the meals. I care about the food. I'm like, what did you eat?
Yeah.
What did you order? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
Let me tell about that.
So I've kind of always picked a restaurant. Like, guys will usually defer to you and they'll be like, hey, like, where do you want to go? And you're like, okay. So I've kind of always gotten buddy in restaurants with bartenders or like the chefs.
Okay.
So that they keep an eye on me and I don't get killed on a date.
Nice.
So one of my favorite date spots is in Smyrna. It's called Mezzaluna. And
Mezzaluna.
It's right around the corner. Italian place. It's cool. Super, super nice. Because then the wait staff will tell me too, like, did they tip well and stuff like that. So then, you know, I have a whole insight. I've had so many dates at Mezzaluna. Like when they come in,
that's your screening process.
If there's a new person working and the chef sees us go to one table, he laughs and he goes, no, she goes there.
That's awesome. God, I wish I had restaurant clout like that.
Yeah, it's easy too if you just even if the guy picks, you just get to the bar early and then you just like talk to a bartender or the server. You're like, hey, like, I'm going to be on a date. If I give you this signal and you come up with a signal, like a double pour of wine or something like that, it means like be rude and just bring the check because I'm done.
Wow.
So I kind of have that so I don't have to be rude. And then I leave them a tip because the other person probably won't if the server acts like that.
Do girls like know about that?
I don't know. I've just done it for a long
just
time.
Did it. That's so wise.
I've had it to the point where like one time I was on a date with this guy. I was at oh my goodness, it's a seafood restaurant that's really delicious down in Midtown. Oh, the name will come to me. It's the Ford Fry Restaurant Group owns it. But I don't know. The dog knew. It's like that one. But the guy that took me on this date, he nursed one beer for like 4 hours and never fed me.
One beer? 4 hours?
And he never fed me. And my one of my best friends, Erica, was actually on a date at the other end of the bar, and we didn't know that we were there until we saw each other.
Yeah.
And so I ran down when he went to the bathroom to tell her, like, I need to get out of this. I don't know what to do. And she's like, ditch him and then come back here and have dinner with us. And the chef ended up buying me dinner because he felt bad because the bartender heard the whole story.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'd have dated the chef.
He was married. I chose.
You tried. Nice try.
Yeah.
We got lost
Barker.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I mean I've lived in Chicago and DC, so there's been definitely great foods. I think the most memorable restaurant, there's a little French restaurant in DC, and they have at all the booths, they have these little red curtains that you can close and have like a private meal with the person you're with, and it's like the most romantic restaurant.
You're talking about that place. That sounds really, really good.
Yeah.
That sounds like a place, like, I've never been in a place where you have such privacy.
Yeah, I hadn't either, but it's good. It's really
normally
good.
I'm like elbowing people. Some restaurants, like, I'm Italian and I don't mind family style dining, but it's not great.
Right.
Family style dining is not the best.
Yeah.
And I like privacy. There's only one place that's worth family style dining, and it's the Smith House in Dahlonega.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. Southern
I don't think
food.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's, if you want to just go there and get fat, that's the place to go.
Okay.
Strawberry shortcake, so good.
All right.
Okay.
I'll put that on my list.
All these little tips and tricks, like, that's really good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back of my dates. I'm like, has the waiter ever just dropped off a check quickly? No, I think I've been a good dater.
I think that might be like a Lindsey original. I'm not sure
Well,
that a lot of girls know about that, but I dated in big cities and I was alone, so I was like, I don't want to get killed is how it started.
that makes
Where it was like, can you just make sure, like,
just surviving out there.
like if I go to the bathroom and I leave my glass, nobody slips anything in it. That's how it all started.
Yeah,
and then
we've seen Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah,
thank
we've
you.
seen
Yeah,
it.
and then it just evolved. Like, hey, you and me, we have a password.
That's wise.
Yeah.
That's wise. Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Well, talking about like the dating and the book and stuff, you also do comedy. You were kind of straddling the fence of writing jokes, writing a book, and now you're flipping back over into comedy. When you did it, and now that you've written a book and it's out there, and what's harder, like getting automatic poor feedback while you're on stage in the moment, or having to wait after a book is written for people to be like,
I think it's the book for sure.
hey, you're just sitting there.
I feel like when it's bad feedback from an audience and they're not liking your joke, you can recover with another funny joke.
Yeah.
Like you may be like, oh, I thought you would think that was funny, and then they'll laugh or something.
Yeah.
But like, there's no way to recover. What's written is written in my book.
It's it.
So it's kind of like, I've gotten really great feedback so far, but it's come in waves, and so now I'm like waiting for. I'm like, hey, have you finished the book yet?
what's the
Like,
general
what's the
public going to
verdict?
say? Yeah. I would imagine it would be nerve-wracking for me to wait, because let me tell you, I tell a lot of jokes. Many of them don't get laughs at times, and I have to like pivot, and that happens. And it makes me better.
Yeah.
But with books, you can't just write another book.
Yeah.
Like off the cuff.
It's definitely
Can't do that.
it's a different feeling than when you don't get laughs in comedy. Like when you don't get laughs in comedy, you're like, well, shit, okay.
Right.
But then you can recover from it, or it was just like that was a bad 10 minutes or something like that.
So
the book is like, and the way I kind of prepped my mind for it was like, okay, I've always wanted to write it.
Yeah.
I'm being super vulnerable and transparent in it. It's about all my dating stories in my 20s and part of my 30s. Like, you know what? I wrote this for me, not for anyone else. And if you don't like it, then you don't like it. And it's not for you, and it'll get tucked away in your shelf or go to Goodwill.
That is how I almost started to view my jokes. I'm like, I like this joke. I'm going to make sure that it's the best that it could be for everybody else, but I like it. I'm not going to get rid of it. I told a joke. I was dressed up as Mario as a Halloween costume comedy show, and I ended up telling a joke about Kanye West and then Wario being Polish, and it nothing. But I thought it was funny, and I was just like, oh, well, okay, that's it.
I think that's the thing at the end of the day. Like, you have to find, like, your group of people that are going to connect to your comedy, just like I have to find my group of people that are going to connect to my book. And it may be a big group, it may be a small group, but I think as long as you stay true to yourself, then that's all that matters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
the profound words
very inspirational.
of the author.
Yeah. Very nice. Well, I'm a comedian and I'm not an author, but I am a reader. Country that has the best. You know what? Before I ask you that one, talking about bombing, what was your worst bomb?
Oh, okay.
Let's hear it.
I went to that place in Pont City Market.
Roll
Is it
call?
Roll Call? Yeah. Okay, so I went to Roll Call, and no offense to anybody watching this that maybe does stand up there, but on the night that I went, there were like 50 people waiting to do stand up, and they pull your name out of a bucket, but they pull all of the regulars, like, and they're like, no, it's just a random, but it's every third person is a regular coming out from the back, which is fine. Just say it's going to be a regular coming out from the back.
Right.
But there was
I hear you. Yeah.
There were some people that were there that were just like obnoxious, and their jokes were so crude and gross. And then the only people in the room were comedians. There were no paid people.
Those are the toughest rooms.
And you know, when I did this, I was still on my snobby traveler kind of set, and they cut the time from like 5 minutes to you had three. And I was like, oh shit, like if I can't explain a premise of why I'm a snobby traveler, I'm just gonna sound like a bitch. And I did. I just sounded like an asshole, and it was straight up crickets in the room.
Yeah,
and I was
sucks.
I was like, well, fuck these people. And I was like, I don't think it's these people though, I think it's me.
Yeah, you have the immediate like, why didn't you laugh at that?
Yeah,
and you're
what's wrong with you?
Wait, and then you replay it and you're like, I know why you didn't laugh at that. Yeah. I mean, the timing of a joke and how long things go, it's a very delicate thing.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I have learned this. If you can make a room full of comics even just slightly giggle at a joke, you take that same joke and then you take it to the club or the venue or whatever, that joke usually just rips the room apart.
Yeah.
But sometimes the comedians are so messed up in our head because of our trauma, and usually got one parent and addiction and all the things that come with stand-up comedians. They usually sometimes they laugh at something that's too offensive or dark.
Yeah.
And then you take it to the club and they're like, oh my God, someone said that in public, and they think that's funny. And comedians are laughing in the back, and it's just a weird thing. My bomb, I think I told a joke about how I was too short for the KKK, and that was, it's a funny premise, but I didn't work the joke out. It worked one time, and then 3 times it didn't, and I was like, well, that joke's done. It was a fluke that it did the first time.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, but maybe it as the most quiet. I heard someone's thumbs on their phone.
Oh,
yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
That was the kind of quiet and roll call. And then the best part was I told my Spirit Airlines joke where I say I can't fly Walmart in the air, talk about Spirit Airlines, and the guy that was hosting the show comes out and goes, I just flew Spirit to see my grandma.
That's killer. So you have to.
He was dead silent, and I was like, at least someone tagged my joke and made people laugh.
Yeah, so you're worthy enough to even try. Worthy.
That was the only laugh that any of my jokes got that night. And I was just okay.
That's
you could have heard
good.
the mic drop. It was bad.
Yeah, but those are necessary.
It was, yeah.
Those are necessary.
They humble you.
Country with the best food.
So that is hard because I've eaten a lot of good food, but I love pretty much any food in Europe. But my favorite is Germany. They got some good food in Germany.
I can see that. There's one comedian chose restaurant in Cumming. That's one of the top-rated German restaurants. Instead, it's called Gasthaus, Tyrol, and schnitzel, real schnitzel, and all that stuff.
It's got to be veal or it's not real.
Yeah, it's veal.
Yeah. I even have German cookbooks in German from Germany that I cook out of. And I got measuring cups there and everything, so I can do the measurements right.
No way.
And I bring seasonings back from there because it's different. Their ingredients are different. It still will taste different in the States, but it's closer. Mm-hmm. That's cool. I mean, I like German. Germans are hefty, hearty, good people, and I think it's partly based on their culture and food. Yeah, for sure. Cool. Okay, that's nice. Worst food is Australia, in my opinion. Don't go. Don't go. Don't just. It's not worth the flight. Oh, wow. It's a long-ass flight. Damn. For no good food. How long's the flight to Australia? About 24 hours with a layover. What? It's 16 there from LA, depending on the jet stream, and then it's about 13 and a half back from Sydney to LA. Oh, my God. Yeah, don't sit coach. Not on that flight. No. Oh. Man, I think I might just stick to Vegas. There you go. What's an underrated state for travel, in this country? So I feel like there's a lot of places kind of in the Midwest that are forgotten. I love South Dakota and the Blackfoot Hills. It's so pretty. Yeah, that's a good one. People go there to see Mount Rushmore, which is cool. Yeah. But it's I think people more think of it as a family destination, but there's some cool stuff out there and good restaurants. And I mean, imagine, you gotta think, there's so many cow farms and bison out there and things like that. All that meat has got to yield a good steakhouse, or 5 or 10. Totally. I would imagine. And they've got a good brewing community out there too, from what I heard. I mean, all that wheat. Yeah. I mean, right? That makes sense. Makes sense. Beer and steak? Yeah. South Dakota, everybody. I think so. So, man. I mean, and there's nobody there. That's what, 1 million people there? Yeah, and the people in South Dakota, I have some clients there. They're really cool people. Yeah. Yeah, they're very they're chill and relaxed and just really kind. I dialed the wrong number once. I was trying to contact a business, and it was in South Dakota, and the guy's like, well, let me help you find it. And he Googled it, and I was like, I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah. This is nice. That's exactly how they are. But they're not, a good day there. Overly nice. They're just genuinely kind people. But they make it everybody else look extraordinary, just by comparison. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I can see that. Mm-hmm. What's the nicest airport? Tampa. The Tampa airport. Tampa International. Best airport. Easiest place to get your rental car.
I would never have in a million years guessed that.
Best airport. I think they get voted #1 airport like all the time.
What?
It's gorgeous. The food in there is amazing.
I thought you were going to say like Bali or Paris or
Tampa.
Tampa, Florida. Mm-hmm. Wow, because the rest of Tampa's a shithole.
They've been building it up.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they did. They did like they have that newer bridge. I haven't been there since the old bridge. The big, giant fucking skyline bridge or whatever it is.
The one that collapsed in '84.
Yeah.
Weren't you born in '84?
No, I haven't been to the. They had. It wasn't new. They did a new bridge, didn't they? A whole new bridge, like 2 years ago.
Oh, that bridge. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't driven over that bridge.
Yeah. I haven't
was
been there
thinking
since that one.
the bridge for the Sunshine Skyway. I'm like, that was before I was born.
No, it was. It's like this giant bridge, but then they just rebuilt it. I think like 5 or 6 years ago, 8 years ago.
I think they added another one because you got the Howard Franklin, the Courtney Campbell, and the I forget what the other one's called.
Yeah.
When Dale Mabry.
Yeah, because I just before that new bridge, that's the last time I was there, which was like a big thing, and I haven't been there since then.
Yes. Yeah.
That's wild.
Tampa is getting to be like a hot spot to move because St. Pete's my hometown.
Okay.
And it is like
I have to go back.
Yeah, it's an absolute hot spot. There's like really cool restaurants to eat at, places to go.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Tampa got a facelift.
It did.
Cool.
It did. It's like 24 now.
Cool. It's gonna hot young city now.
Yeah.
Okay. The opposite of travel now.
Okay.
The opposite of travel. I'm gonna work comedy, travel, and food in one question.
Okay.
You have nowhere to go. You have no places to be. You're tired. You just want to get a glass of, wine. You have one meal, one type of wine, and one comedian for a night in. What do you pick?
All right.
I want to hear this.
Definitely going to be red wine.
Of course.
Because I'm going to light a fire. Even if it's
Superior.
summertime, I'll turn the air conditioning on.
Yeah.
Ambiance,
Nice. Okay.
And then food, I would probably either get like Italian takeout or I'd order a pizza.
Okay.
Because I like eating
Wise.
pizza at home,
Cool.
It's good. And then if you drink too much wine, you have junk food later.
Very true.
And then comedian, I'd either go with Ron White.
Not Italian.
Catch one of his stand-ups. Or my favorite stand-up show that's like a classic on Netflix is Freezing Hot by Eliza Schlesinger.
Eliza's funny.
Yeah, her Freezing Hot
good.
stand-up I think is one of the funniest things ever. I've seen it so many times, I almost have it memorized.
That's a good one. I have seen some specials where I start giggling before it comes up.
Yeah.
You just know it's coming. Like I've seen,
gonna be
I think
funny.
I've seen Tom Segura's Disgraceful more than I think any other.
That's a
special.
good one.
Theo Von's No Offense was really, really good. There's so many.
Ali Wong's really good.
Ali Wong, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Pregnant in 2.
Yeah, and she had a new one
God.
come out recently that's really funny.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Christina Pease.
Oh yeah, hers is
was
great.
Like Mother Inferior was really good. God, just the
So
gamut
many.
of it. I think I would go if I were to drink. If I were to have a drink, a food, and a comic, I think I might go old-fashioned. I'm gonna have a nice steak.
Just gonna guess a steak.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go John Mulaney. Yeah,
Okay.
John Mulaney, because he's just rapid fire.
He is.
He's a man, but he's the balance of like masculine man, but like he knows his shit, but he's smart and he's a good storyteller. It kind of has everything.
Yeah.
John Mulaney is just, his Salt and Pepper Diner story is one of the best. If you've never heard it, it's one of the funniest stories. The funniest story ever told is told by a comedian named Sean Patton. And maybe I think the next funniest story is John Mulaney's Salt and Pepper Diner, where him and his friend go in this diner when they were kids, and they play Tom Jones' What's New Pussycat like 20 times on the jukebox. And he just watches the diner lose their shit. But in between, his friend plays It's Not Unusual. So just to break it up. So just when they think, okay, it's over, it starts right back again with What's New Pussycat. And the way he describes the cook, the customers, like this dad with his kid, and it's just one of the funniest stories.
I gotta look that one up. I don't know if I've heard that one.
It's a classic. It is one of the funniest stories.
But I tend to drink a lot of wine when I watch comedy at home.
Yeah.
Then you'll kind of forget about it. You can watch it again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that Men in Black memory stick.
Yeah. But it's just me with my
It's just
wine.
wine, just Pinot. Well, I've started asking this. It's par for the course to ask. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, they'd be off the cuff. I don't.
Okay.
I'm an open book author.
Yeah. I actually don't know this. Why did you get started in comedy? Like, what was your?
The answer sometimes changes, but honestly, it's because you're gonna think I'm an asshole for this answer, but I went to that graduation, and I saw many of the people, you excluded, but like April's friend was kind of like seeing or dating a comic at the time, but not anymore. But we went there to support her because she needed, to sell tickets and stuff. So I was like, all right, I'll come see a comedy show. And most of the people I saw, I was like, way funnier than them. I know I can do this. And I did it. Voila.
Yeah.
Paid comedian now.
Well, if it makes you feel better, my asshole response is I took the comedy class to learn to be a better writer, and then when I did it, I was like, I'm funnier than half these people.
Yeah, you know who stands out.
Yeah, or you're like, I could be better. Like, I could be better than I am right now.
Give me
Like, give me a little practice.
I was just like a week or two, and I'm like, I can form a couple jokes.
Yeah, well, high five to be the same kind of asshole.
Yeah, assholes.
Yeah.
All right. That's why. That's what happened. And then I just did an open mic. I didn't mean to, really. It was kind of an accidental thing. I was like, I thought it'd be this long, arduous process where I'd have to email people and plan and coordinate and schedule. The first email, they're like, yeah, come do 10 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah, you're like, what?
You just never say no to people. So, and being in comedy around comedians allows me to do this, which is super fun. And that's how it just kind of snowballed out of control. Didn't really mean for it to happen, just kind of did.
Well, you're good at it.
I thank you very much.
You're better than half the people that were on stage.
Yeah. I can say I was, but I look back at that first and I'm like, what a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, you always do that.
Oh, I've rewatched mine and I'm like, oh.
You cringe at
so
it.
Cringy.
You should cringe. If anybody goes back at their early stuff, even famous comedians, they'll go back at some of their specials that they filmed and they're like, oh, I can't believe I did that. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I feel like I cringe every time I watch it sometimes where I'm like, oh, no, that was wrong. That was not how that was supposed to go. I'm very critical of it. But it's how you get better.
You gotta be.
Yeah.
You always gotta be better and better. Like I'll rewrite. No, Jeff said he's not wrong. I mean, a joke is never written; it's only rewritten. And that's wise advice. So, plug what you want to plug. Where can we find your book?
So you can find it on Lindsey, Lindsey, Richelle. It's Michelle with an R. So RICHELLE.com. And it's on there right now. In a couple of weeks, it'll be going on to Amazon, Barnes and Noble.
Nice.
All the book sites.
Cool.
But that'll be probably like sometime mid to end November. We're going to launch there.
Before the end of the year, really. Oh
before the end of the year. So I think like Black Friday time, it should launch kind of on all of the online retailers. But yeah, it's called Boys, Booze, and Balderdash. And you can follow me on Instagram at tallgirladventures.
Because you're a tall girl and you go on adventures.
I didn't know how the name wasn't taken by the time I got it.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, how has no one claimed this?
I luckily RyanShrillaComedy.com. Nobody's got that. There's only one me. I met one other Ryan Shrilla. I haven't met him. He spells it differently, but like he lives a much cooler life than me. Like, and I'm so, he spells it Shirlla, like without the C in different way. He makes like his own maple syrup and stuff. He lives in Vermont or some Massachusetts or somewhere up there.
Interesting.
Yeah, guy's really nice and cool.
Maybe you should go interview him on a podcast.
Oh my God, I think the world would implode. I don't know how that works.
On maple syrup.
Oh my God.
And I'll come with you and I'll be like your light person and we'll fly on Delta.
All right, we'll fly on Delta.
Yeah.
All right.
Not Frontier.
Not Frontier. Because trash people. Okay.
No, not trash people. Just.
I'm trash people.
No, I'm kind of trashy too. I'm from Florida.
Florida can be nuts. Okay. All right. We'll
I've
fly
just-
Delta and
I've just flown in first class on Delta enough that I've become a little snobby.
You're recycling.
But everybody goes back to their roots, you know?
Yeah, right.
Take a girl out of Florida, but
So you can only fly Delta and fake it. Well, that's it.
I just act classy.
that wraps up. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, girl.
Thanks for